It's finally getting a little warmer and spring is around the corner. As most of you living in the US already know, daylight saving time will start at 2 a.m. on March 13th this year. While I love the fact that flowers are blooming and birds are chirping, there is one thing I absolutely do not like about it. We're going to have to spring forward, which means one less hour of sleep on March 13th if you intend to wake up your usual hour. For those of you who might be wondering what this means, let's talk a little bit about what daylight saving time, or DST, means. According to Wikipedia, daylight saving time, which is also known as daylight savings time or daylight time, is the practice of advancing clocks, typically by 1 hour during warmer months, so that darkness falls at a later clock time. To implement DST, clocks are set forward by 1 hour in the spring. That's how you get the spring forward, and set back by 1 hour in autumn. That's how you fall back, to return to standard time. As a result, each year, in places where DST is implemented, there will be one 23-hour day in late winter or early spring, and one 25-hour day in autumn. DST is observed not only in parts of North America and Europe, but also in parts of South America and Oceania. East Asian nations such as China, Japan, and South Korea briefly adopted the practice during some points in history, but have so far all ended up abandoning it. Moreover, not all U.S. states mark daylight saving time. Most of Arizona and all of Hawaii do not observe DST. The idea of daylight saving time is said to have been proposed by Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the U.S., in an attempt to get people to preserve energy. In a letter to the editors of a Paris newspaper, Franklin jokingly said that the Parisians whose windows remain closed after sunrise should be taxed. According to the House of Representatives history blog, Franklin calculated that the city of Paris could save millions of pounds of candle wax each year if residents woke up early in the morning and went to bed early at night. But unsurprisingly, this energy policy was not embraced by the City of Light. During World War I, Germans adopted similar measures to help with the war effort, and the U.S. enacted its first daylight saving law in 1918 in order to conserve fuel. In 1973, President Nixon signed into law the Emergency Daylight Saving Time Energy Conservation Act, and DST became permanent in the U.S. That schedule was later tweaked by the Uniform Time Act in 2005 by setting the start of daylight saving time to the second Sunday of March and the end on the first Sunday of November, and this lengthened the duration of DST. Many Americans want to abandon the time change they endure twice each year as it disrupts people's circadian rhythms and creates confusion. And according to NPR, more than a third of U.S. states now back a permanent shift to daylight saving time. This would be good for the economy, as research by the Chamber of Commerce shows that people tend to take advantage of the bonus hour to stop and shop on their way home. Also, many agree that daylight saving is a loser as an energy plan because there are plenty of other ways for people nowadays to consume energy, such as using all sorts of appliances at home and driving around. I personally am for shifting to year-round daylight saving time because as a multicultural individual functioning across multiple time zones, daylight saving is one more hurdle to cross. Even though our smartphones and computers automatically adjust the date and time for us, it still feels weird when you suddenly gain or lose an hour during the day. When scheduling meetings, especially those on or close to the Sunday when the time changes, I would have to make an extra effort to confirm with those with whom I am meeting. That said, daylight saving is not without its merits. If there was no daylight saving, the sun would not set until 9 p.m. in the summer in New York, and it would set at 3 p.m. instead of 4 p.m. in the fall, which can be quite depressing. That's why in fall and winter, people often have to get SAT lamps, or seasonal affective disorder lamps. Some people call them light therapy lamps, to improve their moods and beat the winter blues. I hope this has been helpful. DST started as an energy policy, but it didn't reach the purpose it was intended. Nonetheless, it has been a fabulous policy for the retail industry, who got more shoppers during the extra hour of daylight. Next time, when your Zoom invite says something like EST, PST, or EDT, PDT, hopefully you wouldn't be so confused. Of course, EST means Eastern Standard Time and EDT means Eastern Daylight Time. So again, E stands for Eastern, East Coast, and the P stands for Pacific, which is the West Coast. And again, the ST stands for Standard Time, which means it's not daylight saving time. EST also means that there would be a 13-hour difference between New York, which is in EST, and Shanghai, and a 16-hour difference between Los Angeles, which is in PST, and Shanghai. And come March 13th, when daylight saving kicks in, the time difference between New York and Shanghai would be reduced to 12 hours, all the way until the cycle ends at 2 a.m. on Sunday, November 6th. So that's all for today. Do you think daylight saving should continue to exist? Leave a comment and let me know. If this was helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time, bye.